You've joined us on Starting Up, educating for employability. From couple Sybil to corporate India, everybody is talking about it and trying to hammer out a solution. In fact, a startup called Techbuddy has been working in that space over the last 1 year. The question remains, will they be able to raise funds and come out with some sort of a solution for that problem? Well, let's hear them out on Super Angels, making their pitch to Harshal Shah.
Hello and welcome to Super Angels, the show where we endeavor to find India's next super entrepreneur. I'm very happy to welcome back onto the show Harshal Shah of Reliance Ventures. So Harshal, you know the startup we have on the show today is from the education play, and there are a whole number of players in the education space. What are you really looking for when you evaluate a company from the education space?
Yeah, I've found that there has been a lot of noise and clutter that's been built up in the education space. So what I'm trying to look for are companies which are scalable, which have a large addressable market, defensible, fantastic management team, and obviously extremely ethical. Ours is the only country in the world, probably aside from Greece, where we actually have a goddess dedicated to education.
So education is clearly on top of the mind. Let's go ahead and take a look at the pitch.
More than 50% of India's graduates are unemployable due to lack of relevant knowledge and technical skills. Yes, computer science, chemical engineering, PCAs, MCAs, what relevance do they have if they can't help you become employable? At Techbuddy, we bridge this gap between industry and academia. With our virtual learning, interest-oriented education programs, and specialist industry faculty, we mentor college students and make them employable. Our education programs are specially designed to help you identify your strengths and leverage them so that you can make a career out of what interests you. Our education programs are conducted by specialist faculty from IIT, IIMs and industry, both physically and virtually. Our Techbuddy education programs are supported by a robust back-end IT system called CampusBuddy ERP. We have a two-pronged revenue model. Our students pay a fee as low as Rs 2,000 to 4,000 for the education programs that we offer. We also charge students and industry a fee that is equivalent to about 1 month's salary for when they get placed. By mentoring over 5,000 students, we have garnered a revenue of Rs 15 lakh in the year 2010-11. We also project a revenue of 7 crores in the year 2014-2015. We would like to make a pitch for Rs 1.8 crores for an equity offload of 15 to 17%. We would use this investment mainly for marketing and IT development. Struggling with the divide between industry and academia, let Techbuddy step in and help you bridge the gap.
Let's go ahead and invite the folks from Techbuddy into the studio.
Hi, please.
Hi. Take us through some of the steps that led to the evolution of Techbuddy.
It was 2008. We were 3 friends sitting in the campus, thinking about education because we were in the final year and there were a lot of things that we thought that should have been there when we were studying and we could not find them in our education system. So, we started as a company which used to provide IT solutions to the education institutions, and gradually we realized that the skill development or the gap between what is required and what is being produced currently in the education institutions is too high.
We'll just focus on the product a little bit. So how have you actually set up this product, because you're competing with some big boys, right, who are funded in a big way and established players in the education space. What did you put into this product to really make it disruptive?
You have to think out of the box.
Right.
So we have done a lot of out of the box thinking till now into the product development actually and the process development, which a lot of biggies have not done. So they have been following the contemporary trend. So let's say the first USP of our model is getting the people trained by the people who are working on real-time applications. That is, nobody actually is doing. And second, leveraging technologies. So combining virtual education with physical education. So there are a lot of people in virtual education, there are a lot of people in physical education. Nobody has combined it so well onto one single platform.
The third thing that I think we should mention is we nurture the interest of the student. So student really figures out what he is interested in. And when he goes and do a job of that thing, I think your attrition has been taken care of for the industry.
So Harshal, you had a look at the pitch, you were nodding your head. What's your feedback to the Techbuddy team?
Well, actually, I have a few questions for you. So to me, it seems that this is a kind of business. If you actually chase after it properly, you could actually go ahead and have a much larger, substantial share of the market. Why is it that your projections are so low?
Well, actually, on the realistic side, the education market has a bit of gestation period, to be very frank. So let's say when you become a brand in education, the people would not just attend your program because it's good, because a lot of other people are attending it.
Your initial revenues are 16 lakhs, right? Right now you got 60 lakhs.
This year we are aiming for 60 lakhs.
And next year you are projected to have how much?
About 1.5 crores.
1.5 crores. You've been doing this all through internal accruals? So you just keep on rolling the projections forward on your own. But 1.5 times 3 becomes 4.5. 4.5 times 3 becomes 14 crores. So you can pretty much do that on your own. Why do you need funding from outside?
For two reasons. One, so far what we have been doing is focusing on north and in 2-3 major states. If you want to scale up, you have to go across the country, and you have to go into class A and class B towns where the bulk of the students are.
I'm not seeing any spike happening because of that additional 1.8 crores that you're asking for.
Is that graph actually factored in that the money is going to come in, or is it factored in that no money is coming?
No.
No money is
No
going to
money
come
is
in.
coming.
Because
What would your projection be if the money came in?
in around 5 years,
Right.
I think it should go about beyond 60-70 crores.
Let me throw another different question to you. At this point in time, you have a product, platform as
Yeah.
you call it,
And the processes.
and the processes. What else can you do with it? You create any other revenue sources?
Definitely, but I don't want to talk about it right now.
Then I'm not going to fund you. There's a place where I was trying to get to, and I think this is something that you guys might want to think about. At this point in time, amongst all the television channels that are out there, there is relatively very little education that's there on the channels. But how many channels are there where, in essence, you are able to actually see education happening on a channel?
Firstly, there's a price per class and per module, and then there's also this 1 month of salary. What's your take on this revenue model?
It's not really focusing on where the real bulk of the money is.
Okay.
And second thing is that
It's not big enough, you're saying?
it's not big enough.
Okay.
Second thing is that I think if you keep on enhancing the quality of your products and so on and so forth better, I think the price points could be enhanced substantially more
Right.
at the level of charging to the customers.
Right.
The thing about going ahead and charging at the end, when you are getting a placement or for what say is a 1 month's worth of salary, etc., then you are kind of getting into the placement business pure play, right? And then you're going directly head on head.
Okay,
with some
can
of
I
the
just
other-
interrupt in between?
Yeah.
If you do not keep any conversion fee for the student, and if you charge everything as an advance fee from the student, so he would ask for a guarantee of job. Generally this is a market trend. So currently we are trying to establish ourselves where the student gets proven education, he gets conversion, he would be happily paying the second part. But then if you don't actually get him a job, which you can never assure, or he will try to tarnish your image. If I say that the full fee is rupees 20,000, so he pays like 7,000-8,000 rupees in advance, depends on the program, and rest
When he gets a job.
when he gets a job.
If he doesn't get a job, he doesn't pay.
Okay.
So
So
we have
what you're
recovered
saying
our
is you're
fixed cost.
subsidizing the actual fixed cost.
Yeah, and we
your
also
mind.
charge the recruiters.
Okay.
So that cost from the recruiters is not as big as we would want it to be right now. So we would definitely subsidize it from the student side.
So if you look into your revenue mix, revenue split right now, multiple revenue options already, right? So there's 1 month salary, plus there's this actual training fee, plus there's the fees from recruiters and from companies. Give us some sense of this pie now. What's it looking like right now?
So most of our revenues are coming definitely from the fee side right
Fee
now,
side, exactly.
which is advance fee and the conversion fee. And the second part, the recruiters part, it is not yet too developed, but then in future we would want to subsidize
So what's
it.
about 10% right now?
Yeah, round about that, 10-15%.
So what you're doing in terms of valuation, 1.8 crore for 18% stake, right? What's your take on that?
I think that since they have not gone ahead and have put forth their projections, we are working at this point in time based upon a straight line assumption, right? I think you need to rework your figures and show me that with that 1.8 crore infusion, what kind of revenues are you going to talk about? My assumption is that what they had come up with as a graph, I know that they are saying at this point in time that 40 crores was actually not including the 1.8 crores. I think what they had come up with was actually 1.8 crores included.
Right. Any critical things you want them to focus on?
One thing that I do want them to do is, to create some kind of a standardization module, which, one can take a look at and be able to say that, this is something which can be sustained and this can be scaled across, a whole bunch of different platforms that are. Second is that, in terms of, the context and relevance over there will have to be a lot more meat that you guys are able to supply across in terms of being able to convince an investor that you will be able to ensure that the latest context and relevance is maintained. Third thing is that in terms of the students and everyone that you are talking about, there is a student from say a small town in Gujarat versus a student in a small town in Maharashtra versus somebody in a big city in West Bengal. They are all different. So how are you planning to go ahead and make that relevance and context happen as well? And then last but not the least, I really do want you to continuously think about expanding exponentially your revenue base and what is the modus operandi, because just simply having money coming in from a customer and then simply telling him that I'll take a performance fee from you later on, that doesn't cut
So
it.
Harshil's not here to fund a tutorial model,
Yeah.
is what he's saying, right? What's your take on Techbuddy, the team, the product and the business?
I think the team is very good. I think they have a good set of complementary skills. Product, I obviously need to see it and obviously validate it. And it's last but not the least, I just want to leave one particular thought over here. Is that there is one person by the name of, and he's not the
Khan Academy.
Khan Academy,
Salman
Khan. That's a very interesting model, which is actually at this point in time working off of a very different cost basis and very different way of working. But it's a highly successful one.
So what we are going to do is exactly that.
Great. So Harshal likes the product, he likes the entrepreneur. He does believe that the business model needs to look at getting more scalable, more revenue monetization strategies, perhaps content for television. Well, you can agree with Harshal, you can disagree with him. You can vote for Techbuddy by writing to us on startingup@eatnow.tv, by SMSing us, or writing to us on our Facebook wall. Will Prasoon and Tanmay be India's next super entrepreneurs? Well, continue watching us on Super Angels to find out.
And without a doubt, Techbuddy will be mentored by a Thai mentor right until the grand finale of the show. And of course, we'll be watching their progress rather closely. We'll take a breather here on the show, but coming up, breaking news in this week's News Wheel right after this break.